Brandon Judd is here, president of the National Border Patrol Council. Brandon, good to see you. Congratulations. I know you did a lot of work on the visit today for former President Trump, and we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm curious, though, and because the murder of Laken Riley is really focusing us now on people who've come across who are bad actors and have done bad things. Outside of those 20 countries, most of whom are U.S. allies, do Border Patrol agents basically rely on the honor system of, hey, do you have a criminal history back home or not?
That's all we can rely on. Every single time that somebody comes into our custody, we fingerprint them. We look to see if they have a criminal record here. We're hoping that that we have something on Interpol. We're hoping that other countries share something. But the vast majority of these individuals, we have to take them at face value based upon what they say, because the burden of proof is on us to show that they have a criminal history rather than on them.
All right, so help us understand, when people come across, they could have long criminal histories back home, Venezuela, Iran, Syria, Uzbekistan, wherever it is, Russia, China. And if they say to you, hey, I don't, nope, I've just been, coming here to come to America for a better life, so long as you don't have any individual hits on the Interpol fingerprints, then they get into the U.S.
Yeah, that's correct under current situations. So you got to understand that when we're not dealing with thousands upon thousands of people every single day, we have more time to do a little bit more research. But when you're dealing with 6,500, 7,500, 9,000 people, you don't have as much time. You have to get people out. We only have so much room to hold people in custody, and that's why we have to take them at face value. We've got to cut this down to give us more time to properly vet people. Otherwise, this is going to continue to happen.
All right. President Biden was also at the border today. No surprise or coincidence that the two of them were a couple of 100 miles apart. Here's President Biden offering an olive branch, if you will, to President Trump. Take a listen.
So here's what I would say to Mr. Trump. Instead of playing politics with this issue, instead of telling members of Congress to block this legislation, join me, or I'll join you in telling the Congress to pass this bipartisan border security bill. We can do it together.
The Border Patrol Council had supported the legislation. Totally agree it wasn't perfect, but it was better than nothing. Did you talk to President Trump about that at all today?
Yeah, just for a second, and I don't need to. I've spoken with him before. Look, he recognizes that from day one, he's going to be able to do a lot more than what this border bill would do. He also recognizes that if this border bill passes right now, and if he is elected, there's not going to be an appetite to get another border bill passed. What I have to look at is I have to say, there is a possibility, although I believe he's going to win, there is a possibility that he is not. And I have got to get what I can get when I can get that. And that's why I support that border bill. It is much better than what our current laws are. And that's how I weigh things. I look at things what is the status quo? What could we do with the border bill? And it is better. So I understand completely why he's doing what he's doing. He understands where I'm coming from. And that's what's really what I really like about him. He can work with people that have policy disagreements like myself. President Biden cannot. There's a reason that President Biden never talks to me, because he knows that I disagree with his policies and he doesn't want to hear what I have to say.
All right. Brandon, thank you very much. Congratulations on as I know, what was a successful visit in your guys' mind. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.